With us right now is Mark Monin. He is with the El Toro Water District. He's both the director and treasurer.
Thanks,
Good to
Ken.
see you, sir.
Good to see you again.
Nice to have you here today. We're going to look at the drought regulations and all that. We know that the governor lifted them.
Right.
And so as we look at the first slide, you're being the treasurer and all, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but we want to find out about, people want to know, where the costs going to go down, or because of the drought conditions have been relaxed and that sort of thing. So let's look at this first.
Okay.
And historical local precipitation, and you can see that for this year, while it was not a record, it was certainly close.
Yeah, and unfortunately in the South Orange, California and Southern California, we didn't get the rain that they did up north. But a lot of the water that's supplied to Southern California does come from Northern California. So we're glad they got it, but we didn't get the rain that they did. So
right.
So.
However, we did get. What do we get here? For here,
yeah, we were
about 20.44.
Yeah, above average is the line. Yeah. So we're well above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I have about that, you talk about our water supply, and of course we still get some from the Colorado River. And I can tell you that I had mentioned this the other day. I recently, a couple weeks ago, flew over the Colorado Rockies, and you could only see white for like hundreds of miles.
Right.
It was incredible how much snow the Rockies have right now.
Absolutely, they're well above average, and the beauty is that Lake Powell, will be in much better shape.
Yeah.
Not instantly, but the watershed has been much better for the Colorado than it has been for almost 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at the next slide, which shows local precipitation comparison. And again, we look at 2015 way down there. And the wettest year, of course, which is, I remember that year very well. And I remember it because at the time, early '97, I was still living up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
But I remember how it was back up there. And I know down here, that was obviously a very unusual year, but look at this year. I mean, we're doing quite well.
We've done much better, and we kind of leveled off, and that's kind of what happens at this time of the year. But we're well above where we were in the last couple years.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. So the next slide, Northern California, this is where we're really going to see a whole lot. So much so they can't even contain it. 197% of normal.
Exactly. Yeah, so now is when we wish we had a lot of bigger storm water reservoirs. They're talking about increasing the walls of reservoirs to increase their capacity. But that's kind of very expensive proposition to do that. So, but that hopefully will happen in the next 10 to 20 years.
Right, and you see that 197% of normal, but when you compare to the last few years, that's like 400% over what we've had over the last few years. So that's incredible. Here's our next slide. We're going to see a nice satellite image, and there you can see, on the right side, where I flew over Colorado there, and as I said, when we flew from a connecting flight out of Denver, so we were right there, and then going over Utah, it looked like winter. I mean, it was absolutely incredible, and I used to go to Colorado to see a friend years ago in the 80s, so I kind of know. And you would have thought it was still midwinter time. That's how much snow was there.
Mammoth's talking about skiing till July, and there was points where the ski lift couldn't even move because the snow was so high. So
exactly.
We're in great shape here, and the Colorado is too.
Yeah, so that's good news, because that means that especially the Colorado, that's been going quite low as well.
Right.
And to have Powell and Lake Mead and those areas refill is fantastic.
So what we want is a slow melt. We don't want this fast melt that things run off so quickly that we can't capture it. So that's what we'd like to see.
We'll see what happens with that, with the warm weather we're having this weekend. Around Orange County, the water savings reported, and so let me ask you something on this. Average monthly water savings for Orange County compared to 2013. And that's one of the things that we've talked about in the past, is the savings of water. And even though we're kind of officially out of a drought at this point, you want people to still maintain that kind of level.
Absolutely. All the hard work our customers have done, we'd like them to continue, because water is a very valuable resource. So please, with your conservation efforts, please continue with it, because what can happen now can change rapidly in the years to come.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the next slide is going to show the water district savings compared to 2013. And again, people have been doing quite well, right?
Yeah, and the recycled water that we've worked on has really helped. And we'd like to do more of that in the future over time. So
the state regulations, we talked about how in January the governor terminated the state of emergency. We were then waiting for pretty much to the point where he said, at least for the time being, we're calling off the drought restrictions, which I think he just did a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the state legislature is really giving a lot of power to the State Water Board, and I wish it was left up to us locally to make our decisions. So you'll hear a lot about that. The State Water Board, which is appointed, will be, the governor would like them to have more power and more.
Right.
And we'd rather see it in a local.
Yeah, exactly.
In a local area.
Yeah, and let's hope that happens, because depending on the area, it can be quite different.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So again, the next one, the state regulations kind of look what we were just talking about. And of course, we still want to keep those things up for obvious reasons.
Exactly. Things have been lifted a little bit, but please keep up your conservation efforts. Don't waste water.
Right. Yeah. And I've said this before, there's some things that you can do at home that you may not think of.
Right.
And one of the things is if you, buy vegetables and want to rinse them off in a bowl of water.
Right.
Well, that water is perfect. It has a lot of nutrients in it now to water your plants and things like that.
Yeah.
Even like over Easter, what did I do? You boil a dozen eggs to color the eggs. Unless an egg breaks, that water's perfectly good. I put that in the dog's dishes.
Exactly.
And things like that. So, or go out and water the plants with it, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
So there's things you can do with. I do realize that it's hard. You want that shower to heat up. And to put gallon buckets, 5-gallon buckets, you got to cart them out. That's a little impractical, but there are certain things you can do.
But if you did it, thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't go that far. That would be a little hard. Next one, state regulations. Again, target water budgets calculated in 2018. And, we want to, hopefully everyone would like to see some lessening of maybe the fees and things like that, which of course, for you guys, comes with the Metropolitan Water District, the state, and I think this is why the districts around here would like to see a little more local control. Right,
so we're getting word from Met and whatnot that some of the increases for the water we buy from them will be up 3 to 5%. So, costs are coming up because about the same amount of water that's delivered we pay for. So even though things go down and up, it's still about the same level of expense.
Why are there increases through them when?
Well, labor costs. A lot of things move on. Oil costs. A big part of water is generation and diesel. So unfortunately, a lot of costs still have inflation tagged to them.
Okay, and some actions that you have taken on the next slide. We're going to see this, and obviously, one of the big ones, although it's not listed there, is of course the recycle project, which is going to continue in the next phase soon.
And level 1 shortage rescinded and adjusted the outdoor drought factor to back to 100%.
Yeah, which is great. Now, the final slide is going to show where you can get information.
Yes.
El Toro Water. There's many different one here. Obviously, the El Toro Water District, OC Water Smart. You can even go on to other water districts. I'm with Santa Margarita Water District, and I don't know if yours has that. That's, no offense, but they have a great resource for water tolerable plants and things like that. Maybe you folks do
Well,
too. But you guys all work together.
We
you
do,
know?
and we have a great site, www.etwd.com.
Yeah.
But our garden at our facility should be done in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And it's a fantastic demonstration garden.
All right. We'll have to come up there and
please
do
come over.
something.
Absolutely. We'd
That
love
would
to
be
have
fun.
you. Yeah.
Mark, I know Mark's got a skedaddle today. He's got another appointment.
Thank you very much,
That's why we got him
Ken.
on early. Good
Thank
to see
you.
you. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. You take care and save water however you can. You boil eggs, save the water, give them to your pets, okay? There's ways to do it very easily. We'll be back.